Okay, students, we are in 5th unit now. So we have seen the modeling solutions here, the top-down approach we have seen, top-down design also for ATM hospital. Then we have seen you have drawn the online shopping, interpreting COVID-19 test results also. Some of you have drawn. Okay, so follow those. So as I told you, what's the need of these designs and diagrams? So by these, the who are going to develop that project can easily understand what they are going to do, what are the operations they are going to perform. They can easily understand. Through that, they will go for the development and all, and remaining other operations they will perform to release the product finally. Okay, these diagrams will be like a blueprint of the project. And we have seen another category, it is problem solving cycle. Here I have given the cycle here. I told you about the cycle also, the problem solving cycle. So different people will do the different modules here. The problem definition, understanding the problem, already I told you, and having the feasible study, that is the possibilities, different studies, different areas, then previous problems, studying, and so the future scope, everything will be there. Means understanding the problem clearly. What's the previous problem? How the people they tried and solved that problem previously? What are the challenges they faced? So that is a clear study of the problem. Problem in the sense what they are going to develop. Then I told you analysis, the decomposition, then pattern recognition, abstraction, algorithm, everything comes under here already I told you. Based on this algorithm, whatever we are going to write, so they will do the system design. That is called diagrammatical representations. Here they will use the language called UML, Unified Modeling Language. So unified modeling language they will use, that is designing, means all the diagrams I told you, structural diagrams and behavioral diagrams. I have shown you yesterday. The structural diagrams, this class diagram, component diagram, all will comes under the structural diagrams. Behavioral diagrams, use case diagrams, sequence, collaboration, activity diagram will comes under the behavioral diagrams. These are the categories we have. So based on this diagrammatical, this is called a blueprint of the project. This is called the blueprint of the project. Then later on, uh, they will go for the code development. Later on, they will go for the code development. After developing the code, they will implement the code. So implementation, already I told you whether it is working fine or not. For example, you are writing program only. You are writing program, then if is it working properly or not, any errors are there, clear output we are getting or not, everything will be there. So okay, they implemented. Now they have to release the product. Before releasing the product, they will have testing, the clear testing here. Means already I told you black box testing and white box testing. They will do. Black box testing means we know the known people, the programmers will do the test. Means they will attempt, they will use the product whether it is working fine or not, that application. They will check it, whatever the feedback or any problems are there, they will submit that and try to rectify. Then black box testing means the unknown people, the other users, uh, except the programmers or coders, they will test the application. Okay, based on their feedback and inputs, they will modify, and the modification also will be like this again. there are any changes that they will change the problem definition, they will go for analysis, and system design also will be somewhat changed, code also will be somewhat changed, then they will implement. And if there are any problems, again through the maintenance. So this is the cycle. Actually, we have software development cycle also there. There also, they will keep 4 modules actually. Here they have elaborate. But here we are going to consider the main thing called system design. System design we are going to consider. So as I told you, the design diagrammatical representations. You know about this decomposition and pattern recognition, abstraction, all will comes under here. Just you can able to explain from the even from the first unit. But now the designing solutions here, class diagrams and use case diagrams we are going to have. So what is class and what is use case? Now let us learn. Class diagram, as I told you, it is a structural diagram. It is a structural diagram. So the symbols which we are going to use in the class diagram, it is not the diagram, it is the symbols and the relationships we are going to discuss. So class, here in the class diagram, it will be used for the relationship between among the components, or the components which are involved in the organization, whatever the organization just you take. If you want to implement the class diagram for ATM, there also we'll take the components. So what are the relationship among the components and the users? So we'll take. So the class, how the class and attributes will be represented. First of all, listen here. This symbol we have to consider. It is a vertical rectangle with 3 fields, with 3 parts. Class will be represented with a vertical rectangle. Actually, we have to draw support down. Vertical rectangle. Then with 3 fields. The first field is class name, the component name. Second field is the attributes of the class, means the type, name. Okay, if you take the class name, for example, student, the class name example student. What are the attributes of the student? Student name, roll number, then ID, we knows their address. Okay, so their mobile number and all will comes under the attributes of the student. For example, if the class name is student. And next, third field is the operations. So what are the operations the student can perform? The operations the student can perform, that is, he can, they will learn actually, they will study the subjects, they will write the exams. What are the operations they can perform? For example, if it is related to the library, so they will access the library books through online or offline. They will go and read. So what are the operations they can perform? The activities they can perform. We will call them as the properties or operations. Okay, the activities. Third field. Okay, those activities will be represented with parentheses. We know about the functions in our C program. The functions, whenever it is enclosed with the parentheses, that will be treated as a function. Here also, the properties, the operations will be represented with the parentheses. That name, right? Function name, then parentheses. That will be treated as an operation. So I told you the attributes. This is a class. A class will be represented like this. Okay. Another symbol which we are going to use in class is, so let's see the relationship, that is generalization relationship in the class environment. What is generalization in environment? Nothing is there. If it is a super class, means like a parent, it's a child, it is also a child. These child 1 and child 2, these children are inherited from this particular parent. So that time we have to represent the relationship like this. It is an arrow. We know it is a full arrow. Okay, here the filled arrow is different. Filled arrow is different. A line with an arrow. So here it is a filled arrow. Okay. So this symbol represents the generalization. Means here the subclass is acquiring the properties of or inheriting the properties of parent, and the subclass also inheriting the properties of the parent. So this is, so don't put the arrow to the subclasses. Remember, if it is generalization relationship. So if we get such situation in the class diagram, so we have to represent like this. If any situations, for example, parent and child, like that, if any case comes like that, we have to represent like this. So let us see some examples later. Generalization. Next we have association. Okay, direct access, class name and another class name. The association means if any two classes are having the direct association, for example, student and faculty, they have the direct association. Student and student, they have the direct association relationship. So okay, direct access. So those will be represented like that. Next, another relationship is aggregation. Here a line ended with a diamond. Line ended with a diamond. Here this aggregation means here will be treated as a part of this class. For example, organization. In the organization, we are having branches, some another account section, another library section. All are the part of the organization. That cases, this is the organization name. For example, this is the organization name, attributes and properties we are taking. We have to write actually few properties here, 3-4 attributes and 3-4 properties. Then here let's assume this is the library. So if you want to show the relationship between these two, here library, then a diamond. It represents this library is the part of this organization. If you want to represent those parts, this is the symbol we have to use. Okay. Then classes association. The simple class association we kept. So if we have the many classes, the association can be represented with a solid line. That's direct connections. Then next it is dependency. Okay, a line with filled arrow. It is called dependency. Here, it is not depending on this. Here it is this target is depending on this resource, means source class. Already I told you this arrow represents these two are the children. If you have only single child, we can have the arrow like this. A single arrow will keep, no problem. Okay. Here also we are representing it is the part of this one. So the symbol must be here. Observe here. And here it is depending on this one. That's what we are representing. Okay. So these are the symbols of the class. Just you remember the symbols and relationships between or among the class. The relationships generalization. Remember the relationships. 4 relationships we have. Okay. Generalization, association, aggregation, and dependency. Okay. Just you take the symbols. Just to represent in a single line here, just you take this arrow, this represents uh, closed arrow, this represents generalization, and solid line, it represents association, and a line with ended with a diamond, that represents aggregation, and a line with the filled arrow, that represents dependence. Then these are the examples to represent between or among the classes, how these relationships will work. Okay, this is a class diagram. So let us go with one example. It's a class. I will send you all these pics just to follow. Class diagram for example, I'm taking ATM. Okay, class diagram for ATM. See, this is a class. Bank they are keeping. What are the attributes? So their code and address, different names we will keep here. Name also we will give. Okay, such informations will give here. ID for that specific ID for that bank, and place we can write them as attributes. Next, write the properties. What are the properties of this bank? Means operations, sorry. Operations, manages and maintains. So it is a bank. Minimum operations they kept. Next, we can take this one or this one or this one, but we have to establish the relationship first. So let me take this ATM, bank and ATM. Uh, Better to take account, the second one, account. So what the account number will be there, account balance will be there, account holder details will be there. So if you are taking only total account, means not only a specific user, if it is for all the users account, it is, we are treating it as a module, then that time account number and balance, minimum attributes they kept, deposit, withdraw, create transaction, that information they kept as an operation. Now account is the part of bank, that's why we are showing the relationship, that is direct line also we can draw, that is a diamond, a line with and ended with diamond. This is called aggregation relationship. This is called aggregation relationship. Okay, next, customer. Who is the customer? Directly, what is the relationship between bank and customer? Customer is the part of the bank, that's what they kept here. The customer is the part of the bank. Observe here, uh, we are having name, the customer details, name, address, date of birth, all their details, verifying password, some different operations they will be having here. He is the part of this, means they will take the account from here, and there is a relationship here. There is no need of relationship, a customer with account number, there is association. Observe here, here also they kept customer with association, there is an association, direct access. Next, ATM related attributes, the place or location, okay, that address, everything, some identity for that mission becomes under attributes. So the operations, the transactions, it here will perform. The transactions means all deposit, withdrawal, so transfer, all the operations can be available here at ATM. ATM is the part of bank. ATM is not depending on the bank. ATM is the part of the bank. That's why they kept the relationship here like this. Is it okay? Then customer and account. This customer will depended on the ATM. Actually, they combinedly they have written here. So if the customer, if you want to show the customer with ATM, there is a relationship. Is going to depend on that. That's what they kept. If you want to justify, you can justify, sir, this relationship is not right. We can keep another relationship. Yeah, you can. Tell me. Then ATM transactions they kept as another class, attributes, and Actually, the ATM is there. Then transactions they kept another class. See, overall they have written. Overall transactions, operations, they have kept as another class. We can keep like that also, no problem. What are the attributes and what are the here? Let's assume it is a global ATM related information. Means many ATMs will be there for a bank, but maybe it is a global ATMs related. It is a specific ATM of that bank. That's why they kept like this. Account and ATM they kept association here. And next, current account and saving account. About the account, they kept current account and saving account. Observe here, we can see which relationship it is. Which relationship it is? Venkat?
Sir,
Which relationship it is? I told you 4 words. One is association, another one is generalization, aggregation, dependency. 4 relationships I told you. Which relationship it is?
Generalization.
Generalization means this is the parent, these two are the children. This child is acquiring the properties of parent. So this child also acquiring or inheriting the properties of this parent. These two are inherited from this parent. That is the relationship. This is generalization. This total solid line will be represented. What's the relationship it is? Solid line.
Association.
Yeah, association means direct access. Association means direct access. What is this diamond arrow with diamond? Sorry, line with diamond.
Aggregation.
Aggregation. What is the meaning of aggregation? Here it is the part of the bank. In order to show the part of a particular class, account is the part of this one. Okay, that's what we are representing. In order to show part of the particular one. ATM also part of the bank. So that's why we have represented with a diamond, line with diamond. Next, what is this filled arrow? What is this filled arrow relationship? What is this filled arrow? Dependency. If any another class is depending on the particular class, that is called dependency. Here it is not depending on anything. Whoever sent this arrow, that class is depending on this particular class. Okay. So these are the 4 relationships: generalization, association, solid line. It is dependency. It is aggregation. Remember these 4 relationships, then you can easily establish a class diagram. It is a class diagram. Okay. Okay. Observe here. It is also a class diagram for library management system. Library management system. See, library management system, total overall system they kept here. These are the attributes. These are the operations. Operations. See, they kept everything as aggregation because user is the part of library, book is the part of library, librarian is the part of library. Getting? So they kept as the aggregation, part of. The user and book, some association, not depending, simple association, they can directly access. Then account. is of a user. Actually account related information అంతా కూడా user కు ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి it is a part of this user they kept here. Maybe they may justify in different way. If you want to keep another relationship you can keep, but he must be able to justify. While after drawing the diagram also you have to write the relationship, the meaning of this relationship also you must be able to write. Then staff and student. So staff and student, these are the inherited from the user. Means user is the superclass, these two are the subclasses. It is the child of this user and this is also child of this class. Okay, for this class also attributes and operations. These are the attributes and operations we have to write. Then if you want to keep the relationship between the student and class, students and staff, here we can write association, direct access. We can write the direct access. Then here book and library database. Database as a class they kept, library database. So they kept it as an association. And librarian and database, they can directly access, association. Book and librarian, they will have the association relationship. And they kept here account and database. Account and database అంటే దీంట్లోనే ఉంటుంది కదా, డైరెక్ట్ అక్కడే ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి సో association. Otherwise we can call it as database and account. Here database లోనే account ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి we can keep it as aggregation. Aggregation కింద కూడా పెట్టొచ్చు మనం. ఓకే, అగ్రిగేషన్ మీన్స్ హియర్ అకౌంట్, సారీ ఇక్కడ నుంచి మనం ఇటు సైడ్ పెట్టాలి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇటు సైడ్ పెడితే ఇక్కడ డైమండ్ పెడితే అకౌంట్ ఈస్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డేటాబేస్. అకౌంట్ ఈస్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డేటాబేస్. వీ కెన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈస్ ద క్లాస్ టైప్. Actually if you write the name and the properties well, do you know, while writing the program we need not write the program. The reverse engineering will take place based on this diagram itself. It will create the blocks for the program. Means here okay, observe here we are having these classes. So while writing, for example, if it is a Java program, let us take the user as a class. They will take the user, it is Java program. In the class they will write the property attributes they will write. Means they will declare the name or ID, then some char name. Okay, so in Java we are having string, you know, name. Okay, so these are the attributes they will keep. Then these are the what are the properties, sorry, operations. Verify, it is a function, they will treat it as a function. Then check account, they check account they will treat it as a function. Okay, this function they will keep. Means how they keep? Simply they will open the space for code. They will open the space for code. So these are the functions, and this is a class. Means based on this diagram the programming blocks will be created. Here they will have return type and all. They will keep some return types. Here class related for while creating in a, actually some tools will be used to design the class diagram. There they will ask the return type of these operations also, return types of these operations, and the parameters which are passing through these functions. We can call them as functions. Actually in our Java we will call them as methods. We will call them as methods. Return types will be kept. See, so based on these programming blocks will be created, and here they will write the code and all they will implement. Structure, so structure will be created. These classes will be there. For this class, one object will be created. With that object, they will access these attributes, these functions also. So classes are attribute in different way they will create. That is some class name they will use. For example, class name user, then object name, some object, then new, some constructor they will use, new. Then later on they will use the class constructor like this. Here this OB is an object like a variable name. With that OB we will access some OB dot ID. We'll access that, we'll assign some ID. Okay, we'll assign some ID. Then OB dot some name is equal to some value, it is a string. Okay, some string will be assigned. If you want to access, already these functions are defined in the class, so that time we will access ob dot verify. So like this we'll access the what are the of attributes and operations we are having in the class, we'll access by using the object. So this will happen in the coding. Okay, so these are the diagrams. You do one thing, so just to take the pen, draw the, you can modify these diagrams also, no problem. Different views మీరు తీసుకోండి, draw the class diagram, not in this way, you can write in different way. Draw the diagram for this ATM and library management system. ATM and library management system, that is the task to you. And they have given another one, it is railway reservation system. Draw the class diagram for ATM, library or library management system is there, and railway reservation system. Railway reservation system, this is the task to you. Okay, this is for the class diagram. Now let's go with another type of diagram, that is use case diagram. Another type of diagram, that is use case diagram. Observe here, use case diagram. What is use case? Use case is nothing but a service. Use case is nothing but a service. Observe here, mostly the use case will be represented with the ellipse. This is the use case. Here we will write the service, we will write inside, it is to represent the service. For example, if you take ATM, what are the services it will provide? Directly take the ATM, the services, we can change the pin, we can take the mini statement, we can check the balance, we can transfer, we can deposit, yeah, we can log out, we can log in, we can register. These are all the services. The services will be represented with this ellipse. Okay, next, actor. Actor means, for example, a user accessing the services, that time we will represent the user as like this. Simple, దీన్ని డ్రా చేయడం ఈజీ కదా, user as like this. So we know the relations, we can use either arrow or solid line also, both gives the same meaning. It is simple arrow. Here the filled arrow is different. It is actually previously relationship they won't show. This simple arrow represents the dependency, this filled arrow represents the generalization. They have not filled there, actually they are not filled there. This is called generalization, means acquiring the properties. Here the symbol include symbol mostly. So if you wanted to that include that name itself, it is telling that name itself, it's telling including of something. If, for example, if you are taking this service, the service is also including of something. That's what we'll keep here. Then extend means extending the service. Extending the service, another service also will be provided. That's what we are going to keep. Just you remember the main two symbols in the use case, this ellipse, then the actor. Main two symbols. Next, the relationship between these two, for that we'll use this arrow mostly. We'll use the solid line or arrow. These are the main symbols: ellipse, actor, and the solid line or arrow. These are the main symbols we have to remember. So we know, see here they are keeping a worker. If you want to represent a worker, so in the ellipse they are keeping the actor symbol. Here this here will be treated as worker. So these two we won't use mostly. Sometimes we'll use this one. So these are the symbols of use case. Use case means you have to remember the service first of all. Service. What are the services we are providing? Next, టోటల్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ని మొత్తం మనం డ్రా చేయలేం ఎప్పుడు కూడా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, క్లాస్ డయాగ్రామ్ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ ది ఓవరాల్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఫర్ ద టోటల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. Class diagram, it is the overall diagram for the total organization. But if you can take the use case diagram we have to draw for each and every class. Okay, if you take two classes, if you take an actor, for example, if you take an actor and the services, for example, ATM we are taking, here we will take an actor. How the actor can access the services, what are the services we are going to represent. If you take actor with bank, okay, if you take actor with account, okay, actor current account, actor savings account. Actor means like a customer with savings account, customer with current account. So we'll have the many use case diagrams for a single class type. Okay, many use case diagrams for single class type. This is the use case. Let us go with a simple example. Use case diagram for ATM machine. Observe here. Here we went to the ATM, bank ATM. We are the customer. What are the services this ATM? This should represent with in the rectangle box all the services. What are the services this ATM can perform? It means provide. Checking balances, deposits, withdrawal, transfer, okay, and maintenance or repair. These also will be there in the ATM. These are the services will be provided. What the customer can do? Customer can check the balance, deposit balance, or funds, withdrawal, transfer. These are the operations can be performed. Here we can keep a bank. Here we can keep the bank. We can treat it as actually another service also. We can keep it as another service. Here we can take ellipse symbol here. No problem. Okay. We can take ellipse symbol. That's good. Otherwise, we have to represent a component rectangle box and we have to treat it as a bank. Here, ATM technician, they are treating as a, here he is an actor. So what the technician can do? The services, that is maintenance and repair. These are the activities he can perform. Okay, maintenance he will do and repair will do. And if you want to keep some, for example, security. You can keep an actor security. Here you can write the service like he will provide the security to the mission. Okay, not the physical security they will provide. Okay, then technician maintenance. Okay, that is fine. Then here we can keep manager or banker on actor. On actor we can keep here, and we can write one service here. The service they will maintain. They will do the maintenance and they will do deposit the amount. అంటే అమౌంట్ డిపాజిట్ అనేది ఏటీఎంలో కూడా జరగాలి కదా, అట్లాంటి ఒక యాక్టర్ని కూడా మనం పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. బ్యాంకర్ ఇక్కడ ఒక సర్వీస్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఒక ఎలిప్స్ డ్రా చేయండి ఎక్స్ట్రా. So like that we can add some more ellipses, some more services. Okay, but this symbol we don't use this symbol. Use different symbol or a service symbol you can use, or an actor symbol you can use. Okay, don't use these types of symbols in use case diagram. Either actor or ellipse or lines, that's it. You should not use any another rectangle boxes and all. Okay, fine. This is called use case, means all the services simply listing out. Let us take one more example, by that you can understand very easily. Use case diagram for library management system. See, librarian, just to take the student. What the librarian can perform, what are the services are there. So they have written this in the view of librarian. So we have to draw in the view of student also. Student ane takku rasarika. It is online system. It is online system, not offline system. We are drawing for an application. We are drawing for an application. Okay. Software application. Librarian. He can log in. He will add the book. కొంతమంది లైబ్రరీకి కూడా మనం వెళ్ళొచ్చారు. మన రిషిత వాళ్ళు లైబ్రరీకి వెళ్ళి చాలా బుక్స్ తెచ్చారు. మరి ఏం చదువుతున్నారో ఏమో మనకు తెలియదు, కానీ బుక్స్ అయితే తీసుకొని వచ్చారు. వెరీ గుడ్. నెక్స్ట్ లాగిన్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద సర్వీసెస్. ఒక అప్లికేషన్ మనం ఓపెన్ చేసామంటే దాంట్లో లైబ్రరీని ఏం కూర్చొని అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తుంటాడు, కూర్చొని అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాడంటే లాగిన్ అవుతాడు. మీకు యాక్చువల్గా ఐడి కూడా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాడు. ఐడి క్రియేషన్ కూడా మీరు పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. దెన్ బుక్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తాడు. యాడింగ్ స్టూడెంట్ అంటే మిమ్మల్ని మీది రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అక్కడ చేస్తాడు, ఓన్గా అతనే చేస్తాడు. బ్రాంచ్ని యాడ్ చేస్తాడు, బుక్స్ యాడ్ చేసుకుంటాడు. బుక్స్ యాడ్ చేసి వాడికి ఐడీస్ కూడా ఇస్తూ ఉంటాడు. తర్వాత బుక్స్ ఇష్యూ చేస్తాడు. బుక్స్ రిటర్న్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా దాన్ని అప్డేట్ చేస్తాడు. అవన్నీ ఆప్షన్స్ ఆయనకి అక్కడ కింద అప్లికేషన్లో ఉంటాయి. దెన్ పెనాల్టీ కూడా యాడ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాడు. సో మీకు ఏదైనా పాస్వర్డ్ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చినా ఆన్లైన్ యాక్సెస్ ఇది అంతా. మీకు ఏదైనా పాస్వర్డ్ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చినా చేంజ్ చేస్తాడు. మీరు కూడా పాస్వర్డ్ చేంజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. రిపోర్ట్స్ చూస్తాడు. స్టూడెంట్ ఏం చేస్తాడు, పాస్వర్డ్ చేంజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. రిజిస్ట్రేషన్, ఆన్లైన్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ మీకు ఉన్నది అంటే ఓకే పెట్టవచ్చు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. సార్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కావాలి, ఆన్లైన్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్, ఓన్గా రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ పెట్టేసుకోండి. యూజర్ కూడా రిజిస్టర్ అవుతాడు. యాక్చువల్లీ లైబ్రరీలో ఏంటంటే మనం ఓన్లీ స్టూడెంట్కి యాక్సెస్ ఇస్తాం కాబట్టి, ఇది ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ సంబంధించింది కాబట్టి డైరెక్ట్గా వెళ్ళి డీటెయిల్స్ తీసుకోవాలి. సబ్మిట్ చేశాక వాళ్ళే ఇన్ ద ప్రజెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద లైబ్రేరియన్ దే విల్ క్రియేట్ ద అకౌంట్ ఫర్ దెమ్. కాబట్టి అందుకని రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ పర్మిషన్ వీళ్ళకి ఇవ్వలేదు. బయట ఎవరు పడితే వాళ్ళు యాక్సెస్ చేసుకుంటే కష్టం కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఆన్లైన్లో కొన్ని లైబ్రరీ అప్లికేషన్స్ వరల్డ్ వైడ్గా ఉంటాయి. సో అవి ఓకే. అట్లాంటి వాటికి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ పెడతాడు, మనీ కూడా పే చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. దెన్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కెన్ వ్యూ ద రిపోర్ట్స్, దే కెన్ యాక్సెస్ ద కంటెంట్ త్రూ ఆన్లైన్ ఆల్సో దే కెన్ యాక్సెస్. సో అనదర్ సర్వీస్ ఆల్సో యూ కెన్ డూ. బట్ స్టూడెంట్ అనేవాడు బుక్ని యాడ్ చేయడం కానీ, బ్రాంచ్ యాడ్ చేయడం కానీ, స్టూడెంట్ని యాడ్ చేయడం, ఇష్యూ బుక్ చేయడం, బుక్ రిటర్న్ చేయొచ్చు, బుక్ రిటర్న్ సబ్మిట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకే, ఇవన్నీ చేయడు, కొన్ని ఆపరేషన్స్ మాత్రమే చేస్తాడు. Okay, fine. So this is called use case diagram. Those are the services. Those are the services. So then our syllabus is completed. Students, our syllabus completed.
సార్
సిలబస్ కంప్లీట్ అయితే ఏం చేస్తారు అందరూ?
బుక్స్ ఇచ్చేస్తాను సార్.
క్లాప్స్ కొడతారు కదా?
క్లాప్స్ కొడతారు సార్.
క్లాప్స్ కొట్టాలి
సార్. సిలబస్ అయిపోయినట్టే లేదు సార్.
అయిపోయినట్టే లేదా? ఎందుకు వెంకట్?
ఏమో సార్, ఇది ఆన్లైన్ ఏం అర్థమైతలేదు. ఇప్పుడు
అర్థమవట్లేదా? ఓకే, ఒకరోజు ఆఫ్లైన్ రండి, మళ్ళీ ఆ రోజు క్లాప్స్ కొట్టిద్దాం.
సార్ క్లాప్స్ కట్టనీకి రమ్మంటారా, క్లాస్ చెప్పడానికి రమ్మంటారా?
ఒక రివ్యూ చెప్పేసి క్లాస్ మొత్తం, అప్పుడు క్లాప్స్ కొట్టిద్దాం. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ 2 యూనిట్స్ మీద క్లాస్ డయాగ్రామ్ అండ్ యూజ్ కేస్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ మీరు వీటికి డ్రా చేయండి. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇచ్చిన దాన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని, రిలేషన్షిప్ బేస్ చేసుకొని, లైబ్రరీ మేనేజ్మెంట్ సిస్టమ్ అండ్ ATM అండ్ రైల్వే రిజర్వేషన్. నెక్స్ట్ ఫర్ ద use case also you draw 3 diagrams: ATM, library management and railway reservation system. These use cases, simple diagrams from the 5th unit. If you know the diagram, that's enough. But while writing the exam, you must be able to explore ప్రతి రిలేషన్షిప్ ని కింద ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఇవ్వండి. ఓకే, డయాగ్రామ్ డ్రా చేసినా దాని ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ముందు ఇచ్చేసి దాని ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, అప్పుడు డయాగ్రామ్ డ్రా చేసి ఈచ్ రిలేషన్షిప్ని కింద ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఇక్కడ రిలేషన్షిప్కి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఇవ్వండి, ఇక్కడ కూడా మీరు చార్ట్ ఫార్మాట్ టాప్ డౌన్ అప్రోచ్ రాస్తారు కాబట్టి ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ మాడ్యూల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కూడా కింద డిస్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. సో డయాగ్రామ్ అంటే డైరెక్ట్ డయాగ్రామ్ డ్రా చేసి వెళ్ళిపోవడం కాదు. ఓకే, స్టార్టింగ్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ పెట్టండి, మధ్యలో డయాగ్రామ్ పెట్టండి, కింద ఒక్కొక్క దానికి డిస్క్రిప్షన్ రాయండి. దట్స్ వాట్ వీ నీడ్. ఇఫ్ దే ఆస్క్ యూ సింగిల్ డయాగ్రామ్, రైట్ ద సెకండ్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఆల్సో, దట్స్ బెటర్. ఓకే, ఇటు ఏటీఎం అడిగాడు కదా, ఏటీఎం క్లియర్గా డ్రా చేయండి. సపోర్టింగ్ ఇంకొక డయాగ్రామ్ ఆన్లైన్, ఇంకోటి హాస్పిటల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, సెకండ్ డయాగ్రామ్ కూడా సపోర్టివ్గా రాయండి, డ్రా చేయండి. క్లాస్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఒకటి అడిగితే డోంట్ స్టిక్ విత్ వన్. First you write the symbols in the class diagram and relationship which we have 4 relationships, then explain them. Afterwards go with one class diagram. If you want, you can take the second class diagram also. Okay, so don't stick with only single diagram, write the 2 diagrams. That's good. Here also you just list out the symbols, then go with examples, 2 examples at least. So this is about the 5th unit. Here I explained very clearly. Examples also I have given for these. Very simple. These brute force and divide and conquer greedy studies also very simple we have seen. Then recursive techniques, the functions, don't bother about the function, that is the programming concept. Just you explain about the recursion, and 2 diagrams I have given, factorial and Fibonacci series. For these 2 I have given 2 diagrams. For these 2 I have given 2 diagrams. Observe here, it is for Fibonacci series I have given the diagram, and for the factorial also I have given 1 diagram for the factorial. Yeah, and factorial, how to find out the factorial with the recursion and difference between recursion and non-recursion techniques, recursive techniques. So these are the things you have to learn. Then already I taught you this syllabus. It's fine. ఇక్కడ వరకు మీరు బాగానే ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి ఉన్నారు, అలానే కీప్ ఇట్ అవ్వండి. చక్కగా కీప్ ఇట్ అప్ అండ్ లెర్న్ మోర్ అండ్ ట్రై టు రివ్యూ వన్స్. మీరు ఏదైతే నోట్స్ తీసుకున్నారో అవన్నీ కూడా ఒకసారి ఇవి చూసుకోండి. దట్స్ ఇట్, దట్స్ మోర్ దెన్ ఎనఫ్. అదర్వైజ్ నేను లాస్ట్ 4 క్లాసెస్ వీడియోస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో నేను పెడతాను కావాలంటే యూట్యూబ్లో, అవి చూసుకుని మీకు సరిపోతుంది. క్లాసెస్ చూసుకున్నా సరిపోతుంది. ఓకే, యూ డోంట్ బోదర్ అబౌట్ ది
నోట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే పంపియండి సార్.
నేను నోట్స్ అది 4th and 5th కి సార్ ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఆ నోట్స్ పంపిస్తాను. అండ్ మోర్ ఓవర్ మీకు ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పర్పస్ కోసం సింప్లిఫైడ్గా విత్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ అండ్ విత్ షార్ట్ నోట్స్ నేను క్వశ్చన్ వైజ్గా ప్రిపేర్ చేసి మీకు ఇస్తాను. ఓకే, దట్ విల్ టేక్ టైం. క్వశ్చన్ వైజ్గా ప్రిపేర్ చేసి మీకు ఇస్తాను విత్ షార్ట్ నోట్స్ అండ్ డయాగ్రామ్స్. Okay students, I have another class for LH9 for this third hour and fourth hour. I have to finish the syllabus for them also. They need at least 3 hours